Now, I also like the way that it's doing this. I've got animation kind of things going on up here too, at least illustrations about it, right? And so this one is talking about unlocking that lock nut. This one is talking about doing the jouncing of the suspension. Now, I call this just doing chin-ups, meaning I'm gonna grab sway bars or something like that and just do 2 or 3 of these to let that suspension compress and expand while I'm doing my work on it. Third step here, and honestly, sometimes I've already done this. I kind of try to make sure this is happening while I'm adjusting it. I want to grab this tie rod end, I want to swing it through its range of motion, forward and rearward, and find its center point. That's what that's talking about. That's what it means here with equalized rotational movement in all joints. A lot of you are tightening down things and that tie rod end is cocked forward or cocked backwards, and that is not doing you any favors. Then, if everything happens here okay, and I'm managing to keep my measurement here at 0.02 or less, positive or negative, 0.02, then and only then can I lock down that lock nut. If it changes it when I lock it down, I'm gonna readjust it, I'm gonna rejounce it, I'm gonna make sure that's in the center of its range of motion, and then I will lock down the lock nut. At this point, if you've got one of those roll around little stools and you want to be underneath the car doing that, that is fantastic. I'm going to raise it up. I'm in a pit anyway. I'm going to raise it up so I can stand under there and have plenty of leverage to get all this work done. So before I get super busy on this, here's another thing I want to make sure you understand. On the Hunter Win-Align software, I can click on this little wrench here, and it's going to show me what tools I need to make this happen anyway. I've got the option here for tools and kits, and sure enough, it wants me to use a 13 millimeter and a 22 millimeter. Now, some of you may say, well, that's not always right. Yeah, I know. Sometimes people put in aftermarket parts, or maybe the manufacturer changed something mid-year, but a lot of the time, this is going to save you a lot of pain and headache just by getting the right tools together and going for it. So this is where we're heading underneath the front of the car, and your illustrations and animations and videos on the Win-Align aligner are gonna show you this stuff too. But this is my tie rod end. This is my tie rod, outer tie rod end, my inner tie rod end. Here's my little lock nut. And I'm gonna encourage you to use whatever your lubricant of choice is to hit this thing a little bit. Now here's a very important detail that some of you guys might be applying in your normal work, then this is not how WinTow works, right? WinTow came out in 1993, by the way. It's been around for 33 years? So it's been doing a great job in taking care of business. But some of you are getting underneath here and loosening up both sides tie rod ends before you make any of your adjustments. That's not how WinTow works, so I don't want to encourage you to do that. But lube up both sides so that stuff can be soaking in while you're taking care of business. So here we are on the passenger side. We're going to loosen up this lock nut and get a little bit of movement on that. I've got a pretty good size adjustment here I'm going to need to make, so I'm just going to back it off a little bit so that as I'm turning that tie rod end, it's not necessarily going to jam right back up immediately. Now this is the part we're about to turn. When I'm turning it, my outer tie rod end is going to twist as well. Remember that we want that in the center of its range of motion, right? It can cock forward, it can cock backward. I'm going to want to maintain that in the center of its range of motion while I'm making this adjustment.